Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Shadow Stitch, and today we have our next draft announcement, which is going to be the WPF, or the World Pokemon Federation, the Delta Division. So the Delta Division is the Wi-Fi division, so big shout outs to everybody over there bringing me in. I super appreciate y'all having me for this season of the WPF. Was definitely a very fun one to watch last season, so I'm just happy to be here for this one. So we ended up with pick 10 of 16, so I'll be honest, a pretty bad spot. Like, I do not like being in the middle of a draft, but I think despite that, we definitely picked up some really fun mons, and very happy with my draft overall. So let's go ahead and just hop into it, and let's see a quick breakdown of the rules. So we had one division this time with 16 coaches. It's going to be 9 weeks with a Friday upload. So now we're still working that out because I do have a couple draft leagues that are trying to upload all on the same day, so we might be a little flexible with our uploads. Try to avoid uploading multiple leagues on the same day, but we'll figure it out. It's fine, don't worry about it. So for now, just think it's going to be Friday. If it's earlier, if it's later, you'll live. So but yeah, and then top 8 make playoffs. We have 9 to 11 picks, and with a 110-point budget, so another really tight budget. I like that. And then a 15-point Terra budget, so definitely a really small Terra budget, and then 10 Pokemon 10 points or less, and then up to 3 Terra captains, 3 Terra types. One of them has to be stat. Very standard stuff for the Terra captain stuff. So very small Terra point budget. I personally don't love a Terra point budget that small, but you know, it is what it is. I think we still ended up with a very strong Terra captain. So let's go ahead and just hop on into this and see what we picked up. First and foremost, Latios. I love Latios. The return of him. So yeah, Latios is insane. This Pokemon is really fast, hits so hard, drops Dracos like nobody's business, and now it even has a spammable secondary stab, and because they buffed Luster Purge, but they didn't even buff Luster Purge like a little bit. They buffed it insane. Now it has a 50% chance to drop special attack or special defense. Wow. So yeah, has really good coverage as well. It did lose like Mystical Fire, but it still has Aura Sphere for Dark and Steel types, which is really cool. And it got Flip Turn. Why? So yeah, Latios is absolutely insane. Very cool Pokemon. So happy to have my boy back in the game in general, and just yeah, Latios is insane. I love that I got this at pick 10. Absolutely crazy. Next up, though, we have a Pokemon that I've never actually drafted before. I've always really wanted to, and it's going to be Hisuian Samurott. So yeah, Torrent and Sharpness, both pretty strong abilities. Of course, we're going to be running Sharpness 99% of the time, because Sharpness with Ceaseless Edge, getting free spikes and boosted damage, and hitting like a truck is just so good. So it has really strong priority in Sucker Punch, and then it can even run like Aqua Jet and stuff too. So it covers like good priority, and just in general, just a really good offensive Dark and Water type Pokemon. So it's not even that slow. 85 base speed, pretty solid speed tier, and you know, it could even potentially dip into its special, because 100 base special attack isn't even that bad. So yeah, very cool that I got to pick this guy up. First time I've ever got to use Hisuian Samurott, and I've seen a lot of people use it very well, and I'm definitely looking forward to trying it out myself. Next up, though, we got a mainstay, my boy Heatran. I love Heatran. I've drafted this thing, I think, twice so far this generation. Maybe 3, maybe this is like the 4th time. I don't know. It's at least the 3rd or 4th time. But yeah, love this Pokemon. Flash Fire, obviously insanely good ability for a Pokemon like this. Flame Body, also really good, because not everybody has a good offensive fire type, so you might as well try to get some cheeky burns. So yeah, hits so hard, has incredibly good high base power moves like Magma Storm and stuff like that. Fire Blast and stuff, and great coverage, and can take a hit like an absolute champ. So yeah, the Gen 5 Dragon Steel Core of Latios Heatran definitely coming back strong, and yeah, I love me some Heatran. Looking forward to my boy coming back. Next up, we got Zapdos. So you already know, I love me regular Zapdos, but Zapdos G is pretty cool as well. So yeah, we have Defiant to definitely deter people from trying to defog away from my spikes from Samurott, my rocks from Heatran. We have a pretty good speed tier at base 100. Makes it an amazing Scarfer or just an amazing like choice band Pokemon. Hits so hard. Flying and fighting type, stab is so hard to switch into. And that's just really good. So yeah, Zapdos G is always kind of giving me a little trouble in prep, so it's my turn to pay it back and just give somebody else a little bit of trouble. So got U-turn, so we can flip it. You can switch on out pretty safely. It can take a hit because it has those nice Zapdos defenses, and just in general, like, good Pokemon. Good Pokemon is good, and I've never really used it either, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. Having a fighting type that doesn't resist rock is a little annoying, but yo, it's fine. It's fine. He's okay. Next up, though, we got Hisuian Zoroark. We're getting all of the regional variants in here, and whoo, I tried Hisuian Zoroark on a team that I took over for, I think it was SSBA. I don't remember. Holy crap, this Pokemon is good. Like, this Pokemon is so good. And it gives me a normal type, gives me a ghost type, all packaged into one. So now you can't spin, and now you can't freaking even guess what's gonna be coming in. So yeah, like, Illusion is so good. And not to toot my own horn, but I personally think that I use Illusion pretty well. I think that it's just I have a lot of experience with regular Zoroark from playing a lot of like UU and RU back in Generation 5 and like some of the lower tiers, because I prefer lower tiers if I'm playing standard, just saying. So, and I really like Zoroark, so like I usually try him out. But I think I personally play Illusion pretty well. But yeah, this Pokemon hits so hard. It's really fast, and I think it pairs really well with some of the Pokemon that I have in the back to Disguise as, and that's just really cool. And it even has a good attack. People sleep on Zoroark's attack stat. I'm not gonna lie. It has Sword Stance. Just saying. Pretty cool. Next up, though, we got our Fairy and our Poison type, and it's going to be Galar Weaving, another Pokemon that I've never drafted before, but I thought fit pretty well. So of course it has Levitate, so it's not always going to be like the grounded poison, but not every team is going to be running toxic spikes, so you might as well have the option. Neutralizing gas is really cool. Misty Surge is also really cool, so I don't have to worry about status conditions on my grounded Pokemon if I want to run that, which is nice. I do have to be careful bringing Misty Surge with Latios, because of course I don't want to be nerfing my Latios' damage. So we'll probably be trying out neutralizing gas a little bit more in those kind of situations, but it is what it is. So, but yeah, really good defense. Actually has pretty decent offenses, good coverage, and just in general, just a overall very solid typing, and just filled out the team pretty well. And yeah, just overall very cool Pokemon. And then next up, we got our Terra Captain. Spoiler alert, there's only going to be one Terra Captain on this team because the points didn't work out quite well for me. So, yeah, we ended up with Jolteon. Jolteon, I think, is an insanely good Terra Captain. It gives us a strong special attacker with insane speed. Electric, of course, because electric, and then we have Ice for that perfect coverage, and then Fairy, because if you didn't know, Jolteon and all the other Eevees, they got a new move called Alluring Voice, which is a 80 base power Fairy type move, and it's a sound based move. That means that we can run Throat Spray. So a Throat Spray, Terra Fairy, Alluring Voice Jolteon seems really fun. Yeah, just in general, even without it, like, Fairy type is not a bad coverage option. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So we can even run like Electric or Ice along with it. So yeah, Jolteon is just really cool. Very happy to have him back. It just gives me that elite speed tier as well. And you know, can definitely take advantage of spikes, because Jolteon is not the strongest thing in the world, but it can definitely hit, and that's pretty cool. So next up, we got Donphan. My boy Donphan gives me good, strong, rapid spinning. I do have defog on Weezing, but I really don't want to get rid of all my own hazards, because I have a lot of hazards that I'm stacking here. We got Toxic Spikes from Weezing. We got, of course, my Samurott's spikes. We got Donphan and Heatran now. This could set up rocks, so I don't want to get rid of my own hazards if possible. So Donphan is really good, and a lot of ghost types don't really want to switch into Donphan because it's got knockoff. It hits really hard with Earthquake. Like 120 base attack ain't bad. It really ain't, and it can always live one hit with Sturdy, so that's really cool. So yeah, Donphan, awesome Pokemon. Super happy to have him. I think this is the first time I've ever drafted Donphan, and yeah, that's cool. So I have drafted his other forms, so now I'm going back to the OG. So let's go. And last but not least, it is going to be Superior. Yes, this is the second time I've drafted Superior. I had a few other options for like grass types and stuff like that, and I thought about like splitting this last pick into like 2 or 3 other picks, but I'm just like, you know what? I'd rather have one really good Pokemon than 2 or 3 mediocre ones. So I was like, screw it, we're getting Superior. We even had, and now we have something to fill that kind of speed gap between Latios and Jolteon as well. It is a great ground resistance for like Heatran and Weezing and stuff like that. We're not bringing Levitate, and it hits so hard, and it's something that forces prep, because like even at +6, even if you don't have the best coverage in the world, a resisted hit is not a resisted hit. So there's that. But yeah, so that's always kind of been Superior's problem. It just doesn't really have coverage, but you know, it can boost. It can definitely live a few hits with its good defenses. It can throw around status with like Glare. It can be annoying with Leech Seed and Synthesis and all that fun stuff. Substitute. It really only needs maybe 1 or 2 attacks. Everything else is kind of just there to supplement it. So yeah, very happy to have Superior. But yeah, so that's the team. Let me know down in the comments what you think of the team. I think it's a really, really strong team. I think it has a good, strong speed tier coverage. I think it has great typings. And just overall, just good Pokemon. I think that's what it is. And a lot of these Pokemon I have not used before, like Zapdos G, Hisuian Samurott, and like Donphan. I think this is also my first time drafting Galarian and Weezing. So yeah, just a lot of cool Pokemon, and Latios leading the charge every freaking week. So there's that. But yeah, that is going to be it for me today. Shout outs to the WPF. Thank you for having me, and I look forward to this season. So thank you all so much for stopping by and watching. Like, comment, sub, all that fun stuff. I love you all. Deuces.